Hello, I'm William Gallagher, and this is the 58 Keys Script Club. It's a book club, okay, but it's about scripts, screenplays. You could, as ever, listen to me in theatre, or in this case, possibly also puzzle over something, or you could just go read the scripts, many scripts this time, link in the description. In fact, actually, let's do links plural because it's all over the place. I want to talk to you about Mission Impossible in script form, but I think to do that, you need to talk about all of it. 8 films, plus the original TV series, plus the remake TV series you didn't even notice at the time. Each of these, I think, presents issues for you and me as writers and as readers of the scripts, really, including, for the films anyway, the absolutely maddening fact that if you do a Google search, you will find the screenplays to all 8 films. You'll find them very easily, very quickly, except no, you won't. Someone incredibly funny, I mean, just downright hilarious, has written spoof versions of several of the Mission films. I mean, if that's your thing and you're very, very young and enough to find that funny, okay, do you. But the thing is, this waste of space is being circulated as if it's the real thing. I did not think that anything could annoy as much as transcripts being passed off as the real screenplay, and yet here we are. There are transcripts too. Transcripts are where someone has slavishly written down every word said in the film, or actually hopefully now just told AI to do it or something. Add it to the list of more rubbish uses for AI. But what you get, AI or manually, is every word uttered and never one thin clue who is saying which line to whom or where. No stage directions, no character names, no scene headings. A totally pointless mess. And again, if you must do you, and you want to slavishly type out it, or if you want to strain yourself and write a prompt to get AI to transcribe an audio video recording, whatever. Passing that off as a screenplay, though, that is a slapping offence. Calm. Get into my voice now. There are scripts, real actual scripts online for the first Mission Impossible film from 1996, wouldn't it have been? In fact, actually, that one's really interesting because there are multiple drafts. It's fascinating. Plus missions 2, 3, Rogue Nation and Fallout. Just one more thing. Well, loads of more things, but next. It has been claimed that there are actually no scripts to certain Mission films, as in that there never were. The claim is that they go off to film somewhere. This is a nice location. They work out how to fit it into a story afterwards. Here's a specific example. Actor Hayley Atwell, she's in Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, and the one after as Grace. No apparent surname, and according to her, no first name either. Not until late in the process of making it. They'd shot it and then she was told what her name was. The actor didn't have the name of her character. And also, well, actors do have this weird relationship with the scripts that they are supposed to perform. I don't know why they did. The cast of The Usual Suspects, for example, always say that they didn't know which one of them was really this Kaiser Soze character. And I just want to say to them, page 119. Atwell is serious, though, quite serious about this. In fact, the quote from her, I'll get this. The quote is, "I had no idea the version of Grace that they were going to choose and that they were going to edit through because there's no set script." Presumably under direction. She gave different performances of this character, and then she was later told, we think Grace is a good name, and Christopher McQuarrie and Tom Cruise picked the version they wanted. Now, as a writer, I'm struggling with this a bit. I'm also just agog at how expensive a way of making a film this must be. I mean, okay, there are extremely costly and extremely well-made Mission Impossible sequences that were shot and then abandoned, and I actually have no problem at all with that. Cutting a scene, no matter how difficult or how good it is, because the film is better without it, of course you cut it, obviously. I think cutting it at the script stage might have been a bit cheaper, but, you know. I just feel like this is an extreme version of a way of making films that I first heard about with Raiders of the Lost Ark. Lost Ark creators George Lucas and director Steven Spielberg sat around with writer Lawrence Kasdan for between 3 and 5 days, sources vary, discussing the story they fancied doing and what the big set pieces could be, the big stunts. Kasdan then went away and fits those set pieces into a story. That sounds to me like a series of stunts strung together just to keep them slightly apart so that you can catch your breath while you're watching. It doesn't sound to me like a story. And yet, Raiders of the Lost Ark is great. And yet, Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation and Fallout are tremendous films, despite being 3 of the ones said to not have had a complete script before. Who knows where the line is? Actually, if you look in the description, by the way, you're going to find links to the scripts to Rogue Nation and Fallout. Despite there not being, the reason appears to be it's possible that a script was compiled at the end. I mean, that's often done for legal reasons and documentation, but in at least one case, it could have been compiled so that Fallout could have been entered for the Oscars as Best Adapted Screenplay. Since all of the Mission films come from there having been an original TV series, all of them are officially adapted. Okay, I don't know. Mission Impossible Fallout, as much as I really relish it, it was never going to win an Oscar for its screenplay. I mean, it's a thriller. It's an action film. It didn't even get nominated. Although actually Logan, the Marvel Comics film, which I haven't seen, that's action thriller, I think, and that was nominated. And that year included, it was kind of a thriller, Molly's Game by Aaron Sorkin, but just for completeness, Best Adapted Screenplay that year, 2018, was James Ivory's Call Me By Your Name. Haven't read it. Anyway, for whatever reason, a compiled script, if that's what it is, to Fallout is available, and possibly the one you can read for Rogue Nation is similarly compiled. I don't know what you and I as writers can get from a script put together after the film's been made, but at least we can see how certain writers do action sequences, how they describe that on the page. I so liked these, I was going to say that, but the first one especially, and then the 4th, 5th and 6th, loved them. Actually, I watched them often. I've read the script, well, I've read the script once. Okay. If there is a script to Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning or The Final Reckoning, the last one, I'd really like to read that, because this is the two film ending to the series, or so it appears at the moment. And those 2 films, they were a letdown. Fantastic moments, unimaginably great moments, but where I felt the previous few films built well, they carried me to the next sequence and then on to the next. It was a story. Here it was just this happens and then that happens, and okay, some of the thises and the that's were really good, but they were discrete separate episodes. I think Making the Baddie Be AI was prescient when they started the films, but if a disembodied antagonist can work, it didn't seem to here. And not to dwell on script for a film that we can't get, there was this moment. There's this moment, I think Dead Reckoning spoiled it unnecessarily, is it necessary? Spoiled itself, and in a way it didn't have to. A character from this series of films dies in this film, and it is played like operatic level upset, which it should be, but it isn't, it misses. I think chiefly because we were also told 90 minutes before that this character has died. And it was a lie then, so we're thinking, is it a lie now? We're thinking, we're not in it, we're not in the story. But as I say, we can't currently read the Dead Reckoning script to see how it played on the page. I don't know. It is well worth reading all of the scripts that are available, but maybe the one that is most interesting you and me as writers is the first one, and its many drafts. The final film, 1996 Mission Impossible, was again a kind of good parts version of 2 entirely different scripts welded together. Seriously, this is known. And again, I mean, that shouldn't work, but I think it does. And after all these years since I saw it in cinema on release, there's one line in the script that I keep thinking about. It's in what's listed as the final shooting script. It's not in the other drafts. And actually in the film itself, the dialogue, it's significantly trimmed back, but the key part, I mean, sorry, spoiler, in that film, a couple need another character to be seduced by the woman of the pair, but she isn't sure she can pull it off. The man of the couple says that he was supremely confident, quote, having tasted the goods himself. It's very difficult to even say that to you. But then it's a line said by the baddie. A baddie does and says bad things, but it's still icky. The need we have to write something for a character to say that you and I as a writer couldn't stomach doing, it's on my mind. Mind you, actually, there's a line in Mission 2 that I'm finding just straight out loathing. Quote, it's not mission difficult, Hunt, it's mission impossible. It reads and it sounds, especially when I say it in that voice, like the film's being meta, being very self-aware and referring to themselves. And arguably it isn't. Arguably. Because throughout the films and the TV series, our heroes are working for the Impossible Missions Force, the IMF. It has impossible mission right there in its very name. So it could be that that's what the line in Mission 2 is referring to. It isn't. But it could be. And actually, Mission 3 just out and out mocks the name. Yeah, literally, it surely is being meta there. One more thing about the first film. Lots to say about that first film. On seeing an early cut of the footage, George Lucas is said to have asked where the scene was where everyone in the team was around a table discussing the plan of what they were going to do. I wish I knew whether he said that because he felt the film as he was watching it then was lacking something, or just because he knew that the original TV show did it every week. It was in the format of the TV show. Maybe he was just expecting it. But either way, such a film was written and filmed, and it's in the movie. It's not in the final shooting draft. It works. It's a good setup screen. So that's another one where the script was changed significantly in the production, and yet that kind of change, adding a reshoot, a pickup, somehow that seems normal. Anyway, Mission Impossible 1 is excellent, and it launched this whole 30-odd year movie franchise, which, as I say, began with a TV show. The TV show, created by Bruce Geller, ran from 1966 to 1973. There was a remake revival that was created during the late 1990s, but it was during the writer's strike. It was a way to make new TV episodes without writing new scripts, just take the old ones. Yeah. There are no scripts revised, or then they did a few originals, I think. There's none of those from the revival available at present, and having seen some of that show, I'm not lying awake at nights wishing there were. I actually do lie awake at nights thinking about this stuff. Anyway, of the 171 original Mission Impossible TV episodes, there are 9 scripts available online. None of them are, significant episodes from the run. They're not the first or the end of anything. And unfortunately, actually, none of them are brilliant. But there are 2 that it is worth reading. One is very good, up to a pretty weak ending. That would be Season 1, Episode 9, A Spool There Was by Ellis Marcus. A spy has been killed after stealing some vital recording or other. The recording has been lost. The spy hid it moments before he was killed. The baddies, they know he had the recording. They totally control, they dominate this tiny area he was in, yet they cannot find it. Our heroes, the IMF, have to figure out what the baddies cannot. And it is one of those mission stories where it really does seem impossible. It's fascinating, but although actually, in another sense, it's also a story that would be impossible to tell today, because it turns on how that recording was made, the physical form of that recording. And there's a decent, strong chance you may never have heard of this now ancient-sounding technology. Next and last of the 2 from the series, there is Ultimatum, story by Cheryl Hendricks and Harold Livingston, teleplay by Livingston. The strength of this one is again in the kind of impossibility of the mission. It's never about the characters, but the scale of it. In this one, someone somewhere in America is about to explode a bomb. Somewhere in America, anywhere in the whole continental USA. The IMF have to first figure out where in the world, where in America this is, before they can do anything else to stop it. And the sense of scale, the sense of impossibility and how it's worked through, the sequences of it, It's a good, short thriller. Mission Impossible it's never hardcore espionage. It's never Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy in its depiction of a form of reality, but the best of it is among that certain type of thrilling, escapist thriller. So that's 2 episodes from the TV show that I am recommending, plus several of the films and multiple drafts of the first one. Links to everything are in the description, and I hope you have a really good time reading them, because I did. But in the meantime, that's it for this edition of 58 Keys. Thank you very much for watching. Now take care of yourself, write more as well as read, and I'll see you soon.